what does £1,000 a month actually get you in Jamaica versus in the UK? Let's compare rent, food, transport, and lifestyle. So if we think about rent, in the UK, good luck. £1,000 in the UK might get you like a tiny studio apartment or even just a shared room or a shared flat, right? Whereas in Jamaica, you could get something a lot better. So a 1 to 2 bedroom apartment in a really decent area, or even a small house in some parts of the island. So if we move on to food, in the UK, groceries keep getting more expensive. That's absolutely apparent. You're easily spending anywhere between £200 to £300 a month on food if you're a family. Now, in Jamaica, local markets are really good value. You can get some good produce for some really good prices. However, their supermarkets are a joke. If you go to a supermarket in Jamaica, you will not believe the prices of the products. They are way more expensive than what is charged here in UK supermarkets. So in that sense, I'm definitely going to give this one to the UK. As I said, if you shop locally and, if you buy like really fresh produce from local vendors, it can be kind of cheap. But if you're someone who likes going to supermarkets and, like that whole experience and prefers to get your stuff or your shopping from supermarkets, you are going to be in for a shock. Now, moving on to transport. So in the UK, a monthly train pass might cost you anywhere between, say, £100 to £200 a month. Now, in Jamaica, public taxis are really, really cheap, which is great. But there is a huge difference because here in the UK, you could get a Uber and, it's just you and the Uber. It's relatively cheap to travel. Whereas in Jamaica, as I said, it is cheap to travel, but you are going to be sharing the car with a few other people that the taxi has collected on the way. Sometimes this can be a little bit uncomfortable. Or you can choose to get a chartered taxi, which does cost a little bit more. So again, I think this kind of goes off of preference and what you prefer. Also, if you decide to buy a car in Jamaica, one warning is that gas prices are quite expensive as well. Also, car prices are quite expensive because cars are imported. So that's, again, something else to consider. And then lastly, let's look at lifestyle. So in the UK, £1,000 means pretty much bills, right? In Jamaica, however, you could be chilling on a beach after work instead of shivering in the cold or looking at grey skies. I feel like the standard of living in Jamaica, even with less than £1,000, is so much better than living in the UK. So if you ask me where I would rather be in Jamaica.